So, just when we thought Dr. Gilgamesh had not performed his operation, he went ahead and did it anyway. So I do apologize if I spoiled anybody, but it's not like it was important because he literally the first 3 seconds of the episode was just him casually pulling out Ilya's heart, and there was just nothing to it. Like there was no dramatization to it. It was just very casual. So I don't know. Um, do we want to consider that spoiled? I don't know. I mean, it really wasn't significant. So, all right. So Dr. Gilgamesh, he's in, but it really wasn't anything special. Um, so this episode of Fate Stay Night was good for a couple different reasons. I always say that shit, but this episode was good. So let's get into I guess, the meat and potatoes of the review. I guess I don't know. First point of view I'm gonna mention is the fact that um, Rin and Shiro's relationship is getting stronger. Even though, really, if I'm being honest, it's almost stagnating, but it seems to be getting stronger at least. And I know that sounds like a contradiction, but let me explain what I mean. In the very first episode of the second season, Shiro already admitted that he liked Tosaka Rin. So like there was already that touching moment, and now all of a sudden it's here again. So it almost seems like a rehash, but just a little bit stronger than the last time. So like it seems to be like almost like a stagnating relationship, but it is growing. You can see it's growing. It's just at a sort of slow pace. I don't know. I mean, Shiro obviously grew closer to Rin after she basically pinned him down and was like, "Nope, you gotta fuck me, fuck me only." No, I'm just kidding. I know they're high school kids. What am I saying? Right? Not like high school kids these days aren't screwing each other left and right. Back in my day, we waited till we were 18. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, fuck no. Did people in my age wait till they were 18 to screw around with each other? Yeah. Off topic. So, I mean, that's the first thing I want to point out. Really, is that. Second, Lancer is pretty cool. I like Lancer. Um, he's not as good as Diarmuid. Is that's what his name was, like Diarmuid or something? I can't remember his name completely, but Lancer from friggin' Fate Zero, he was awesome. He was one of the best characters in Fate Zero. Um, I would say top five. I mean, Kiritsugu Emiya and Kira Kotomine were the best, but I mean, Fate Zero Lancer was top five material. Um, Fate Stay Night Lancer, not as much, but I do like him at least. Uh, so we do get a piece of information about Assassin, who, by the way, is way better than the Assassin of Fate Zero. Fate Zero's Assassin was fucking pathetic. Um, so we do find out that he cannot leave the temple because there was limits because he was summoned directly by Castor. And so they're still trying to go after Castor, even though Gilgamesh is obviously a huge threat, and they know it. Like, because they know the legends of Gilgamesh, and like they've pretty much figured out the fact. Well, I'm assuming it's the fact that Gilgamesh's noble phantasm is the fact that he has so many things that are like noble phantasms in his arsenal, his seemingly endless arsenal. Um, what else? So Lancer and Archer basically start their fight at the end, and I mean, we'll see who wins. I don't really. I mean, really, in a fight, if they were of equal skill, Lancer should win because I mean, swords, especially like really short swords, have a very bad disadvantage against lances and spears in general. Um, it's just how it is. The reach is just not just the reach, but like the maneuverability of a spear is actually pretty damn good against a small sword, especially. Um, I mean, there's many different reasons why. You could just look it up. Why pull weapons are generally way better in a one-on-one fight than swords. So I mean, if they were of equal skill, Lancer should win. But I'm assuming that's not going to be the case. Archer has shown that he's very good with sword play, even though he is Archer. He's supposed to not be that good with swords, but he is, so we'll see what happens there. I mean, he could always pull out some Archer stuff, so you never know. Um, his archery is very impressive. Like, he can, like, snipe from really, really far away, so I mean, there could be a point where he gets a range advantage because he backs up or something. I don't know. But I'm very excited to see that match because it's a very interesting matchup. There's nothing else to say there. So let's see. Is there really much else? I mean, we can talk a little bit about Gilgamesh and how uh, Rin was basically praised by both Lancer and Gilgamesh. So she obviously has a lot to her, and we know that, but it's like confirmed more so by the fact that these two um, familiars are basically acknowledging her. Even Archer did too, but he's an asshole. Uh, so yeah, and she basically turns down joining Gilgamesh, which is, I mean, what did you expect? Yeah, I mean that's honestly about it. There was some worthwhile conversation between Archer and Kuzuki. I could talk a little bit about that, but really I don't. Okay, there's a little bit more to talk about actually, because there was a couple different clashes of ideals. Um, I thought Archer and Kuzuki seemed to hit it off with their ideals. I mean, they weren't exactly the same, but it was kind of similar. Same school of thought, really. Um, Meanwhile, Rin and Shiro were basically arguing about the fact that Shiro, he just jumps in without any regard for his own life because he lives for others. This whole hero of justice idea. And Rin is basically pissed off because she obviously likes Shiro and she wants to see Shiro live. And so she wants Shiro to care about Shiro. Shiro. Um, so I mean that's really about it. This was a pretty good episode, as I said in the beginning. I was gonna say chapter again. Fuck. Um, this was a pretty good episode. I very thoroughly enjoyed it. I want to see how this Rin Shiro thing turns out. Um, I'm not a huge fan of romantic comedies here and there. I mean, most of them are awful, but when it's good, it has me by the balls. I can't lie about that. I do have a soft spot for good romantic um, stuff. So if it's well written, I welcome it, and so far it's pretty well written. So I mean, if it goes somewhere good, I'm all for it. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week.